Christian Kyle M. Sonarilios from BE Scream 1A, and I am going to make a reflection video about the concept of self by Rene Descartes. According to Rene Descartes, the self is a thinking thing in relation to his concept of self. That Descartes contributed his picture to human mind is explicit in the sixth meditation. He argues that the mind is nothing different from his thoughts. Descartes indicates that the self-identity with the mind implies that the self cannot be divided into parts. As a result, the self is a single and complete. Descartes argues for the existence of God by own very idea of his perfection. He remarks that to those who diligently discern, this is the self-evident truth, very much like the basic thoughts in arithmetic or geometry. For think that God does not actually exist diminishes that perfection. He also point out the cause of human imperfection as the deep proportion between a person understanding and will. From his certainly that the selves exist, at least as a thinking thing, that is aware from itself, and that there is a perfect God who wills and the best for his creation. It follows for Descartes that material thing like a body exists. Thus, Descartes defined the self as a thinking thing that doubts, understands, well, and form judgment, image, and perceive. The last characteristic is primarily associated with the body, which, although secondarily to the mind, plays a role in self-identity.
The self is a simple considered as a mind, whereas the self is composite considered as a human being. Someone mind object that it is unclear how merely considering the self is different ways blocks the conclusion that a simple subjects or predictions. The self is both simple and composite, which is contradictory in response to these objections. These papers develops a readings of Descartes' various ways of considering the selves. I argue that the best reading of Descartes' qualified claims about the self's, mind or self's human being, composes an account of the unqualified self, that is, of the self-simplicer. I argue that the self-simplicer is not mind, and that is not human being either. This result might suggest the pessimistic conclusion that Descartes' view of the self incoherent. To avoid this result, I introduce a new metaphysical account of the Cartesian selves. Of my view, the self is individuated a qualified mental life. The self is constituted by the beings that jointly produce this mind life and delivers its unity from it. Thank you and God bless.